Hi guys, welcome to the channel. What I don't understand, how there are still some people left that keep telling us weather modification, weather manipulation doesn't exist, yet it is all publicly available online. See, I'm not even talking about the secret or leaked documents. It's all there in the public domain if you know where to look. See, the true question is not whether it exists. The question actually is how far is it prepared to go and who actually decides. See, the other day I've done a video where we talked about the wind and some changes in the weather, where a lot of you have noticed that as well. But of course, there are some people that keep telling us we're all conspiracy theorists, nothing's happening, it's all just our imagination, and the weather manipulation doesn't exist. Well, in today's video, guys, we're going to be looking at the hardcore facts with the statements. And in the end of the video, we're going to be asking some questions we're not really allowed to ask. So, as I said, I'm going to be putting everything in the description for everybody to read if you wanted to as well. But I'm going through the main quotes from the websites, the legit websites. They're actually telling us what's actually happening. So we're going to be starting with the WMO. Okay, this is the website, is the World Meteorological Organization. So one of the things they're saying to us on their website, so operational programs in fog dispersion, rain and snow enhancement, and hail suppression are taking place in more than 50 countries worldwide. So they're telling us those weather modifications are already happening in 50 countries worldwide. So this is not conspiracy theory. It's happening in more than 50 countries. In fact, I've done a video last year where I've covered exactly the countries, what are they doing, to what extent, and I'll put the link to that video down below. Again, all of the information is publicly available with the correct statements and the places. Right, so now the next thing I've chosen from their website, they say, so weather modification is a deliberate intervention in the Earth's atmosphere to influence local weather conditions, typically through techniques like cloud seeding. We're talking about deliberate intervention. This is their words on their website. Deliberate intervention to change the weather. Okay. Also, they're stating they neither promote nor discourage the practice of the weather modification. So they're treated like a tool, not a rumor. It exists, they know it, and they're kind of like sitting on a fence with that one. Right now, we're moving on to UNDP, which is United Nations Development Program. Okay, so you thought that just the one of the website mentions 50 countries, but no, again, their statement, not statement, but something on their website says again, 50 plus countries are already using weather modifying technology. Okay, so again, it is spread and is openly available. They're telling us it is happening again. So how much, my thought is happening over 15 countries. This is to what they tell us. But how much is actually happening to what we don't get told? Okay, this is the thing. But right now we're looking at the government report. We're talking about the Government Accountability Office. So there was a report, PDF report. They're talking about the cloud seeding. So cloud seeding is a decades-old approach to modifying weather. Okay, it's telling us here again, for people that think it's not been happening or just happening, decade-old approach. Okay, it's been happening for decades. Okay, and yes, apparently they actually say that the measuring results can be difficult because the weather is chaotic. But again, okay, if the weather is chaotic and it's very difficult to measure, why they continue doing this? It's clearly got to be an agenda behind that. Right, now we're looking about the sun dimming or CRM experiments, okay, with the Royal Society. So they call it either solar radiation management or solar radiation modification, okay? So this is happening. So SRM techniques work by reflecting additional sunlight back into the space to reduce global heating, okay? It is there, it's telling you exactly what they're doing. So apparently, according to their report again, so current UK national funding includes the National Environment Research Council's 10 million program. Okay, so 10 million investing in that. This is just with this specific one. So this is not, again, not just a conspiracy and them trying it on. When you invest that kind of money, there is a purpose behind that. Okay, so purpose there. So anyway, the point is, it is there. They're telling us this is happening. Now we're looking about now the area, the program. Again, I've done this specifically whole video on that. Okay, so they invested, our government, 56.8 million on the climate cooling program. So the area is the UK government's high risk, high reward research funding agency. So program, 56.8 million exploring the climate cooling approaches. When I've done the research on that last time, basically that 56.8 million was the original investment. Over the course of 5 years, it was going to be costing 800 million of taxpayers' money. 800 million. And the worst thing of all, when it comes to this research, they're talking about 3 things they're going to be doing it with the clouds. All of that research has already been done, okay, for the previous years in America by Mr. Bill Gates. And they halted all their research because they found things either affected the weather or didn't work. And yet we are again spending, okay, 56 million and up to 800 million on that. Okay, think about this, the horrific amount of money. All right, and if you're saying this is conspiracy, it's not happening, it's invested. Once you invested that kind of money, it's going ahead and it's going to be happening. So far, it's still at the stage, they're still researching this, planning this. It's not apparently gone ahead and happening, but the point is, it is going to be happening. So right now, we're talking about a lot of people talked about the hub, obviously, and people saying these things exist, hub project exists here. Obviously, hub is a facility in America. They are sort of fiddling with the skies up there. It's not, I haven't found anything proven here in United Kingdom to what exists. Yes, there is a site, the MOD, they're doing similar sort of things, but there's no proof online to say that this is currently changes the weather. So this is that, right? It's online. And also even the Met Office tells you online that they're doing modification. So this is not new, okay? It's been happening for years and it's happening. This is proof, okay, from the governing bodies to tell you they're currently actively doing this. Of course, now that they mentioned other things currently happening in the sky where a lot of us are aware of, but we cross that bridge in a minute. So people would be wondering why on earth that potentially that be happening. And again, the assumption would be weather controls water. This is the big part of it, is the water. And then, of course, water controls, well, crops. So if you think about it, we're talking about the issues with the farming here. We know the agenda with the farming, and even applicable to, say, ourselves growing food. So water, farming, okay, water, growing. So, of course, if suddenly there's a shortage of water, less crops means high demand, that means more money. You can see the chain. You can see the idea of how everything's linked with the food to economy, all linked to the weather. Okay, at this point, weather becomes a commodity. If you control something, okay, to your desired effect, it is a commodity. And you can change a lot of things by owning that. But see, the question is and I'm sure a lot of us are asking, who gave them the right? Who decides what happens? Who controls what happens? Because see, by somebody doing or manipulating weather in one area, it doesn't stay in one area. Things change. And this is why the research in America got halted, because it affects a lot of things. And this is the things like different areas, different countries have their own things, right? Have their own laws, regulations, what can happen, what can't, what they're doing. But yet it's all linked. It's our planet, our choice. And yet we don't have a choice. We don't even get a question asked, okay? Do we think it's a good idea? They're just doing this. They're taking control of that and they're doing this. But the whole fact is, they're not even denying it, right? The point is there, they're telling you this is what's happening, and it's happening literally across the world. So the point is, right, this is where my next video is going to be coming in. We're not just going to be talking about it, right? And please stay tuned in for my next video. I'm going to be doing the request of Freedom of Information Act to 9 bodies. I think to 9 of them. I'm going to be doing the MOD, Met Office, and I'm going to be asking them the questions, uncomfortable questions that I would like to know the answers. It's not going to be, I'm going to put a lot of thought into that, okay? It's going to be questions that are going to be linked together. And what I want to see is the answers. And I want them to be consistent. Because if you suddenly send a lot of questions, relevant questions, almost the same questions to the same bodies, right? I expect to see a consistency, okay? Consistency in answers. But something tells me that we're not going to see the consistency in answers, because I believe that things are happening that we don't know. Yes, information, they're telling you what it is, but nobody's questioning that. Nobody questions what else is actually happening. People that know, people making assumptions, yes, but generally, people think, yes, okay, cloud seeding, great, been done, whatever. But people don't question a lot of other things that are happening. So I'm going to make it my job, and I'm going to question. So next video, guys, I'm going to be doing exactly that. I'm going to create the emails, and I'm going to be, I'll let you know the questions I'm going to be sending. As I said, they're going to be sent to everybody, or to all of those 9 bodies, and we're going to see where we're going to get with the answers, see if we're going to get some interesting answers. And the point I'm doing this is the fact is, the more of you do it as well, if you want to send this, hopefully it'll raise a little bit of awareness. Because if we as people, if we don't act on anything, then things will be happening like they're doing with anything. If population doesn't react, they'll just continue doing what they're doing. But if we raise awareness that people are, so they know people are aware, people are questioning, then maybe things change a little bit. I don't know. But the point is, guys, all right, I hope you have found this video helpful. Please subscribe so you don't miss my next video with the information I'm going to be sending over. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, thumbs up, very important. Subscribe. I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.